What happens when you block your avoidant ex? If you're familiar with my videos, then you know that I've said that you should not block your ex until you've been in no contact for at least 60 days. And even then, you should wait, especially if they're watching you on social media, because you can use that to your advantage. However, I understand that if you're anxious, then for your own mental health, you may need to block them before 60 days have passed, or you just want to block them. So what happens when you block an avoidant ex? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. And welcome back, my beautiful no contact army. Have you been staying in no contact? Have you used my app Silencio to help you stay in no contact? The link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you would like to join our no contact army, just hit the subscribe button. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. Okay, so if your ex was avoidant, then there's a very good chance that you're anxious. So your desire to block them is coming out of a need for certainty. I know that dating and avoidant can be frustrating because there's this push-pull dynamic, which works fine if you have a secure or even an avoidant attachment style. But when you're anxious, you're constantly on edge because you live in constant fear that they're pulling away. And so when you block them after a breakup, you give yourself certainty because you know that they won't be able to contact you, right? So the first stage that they will go through is that they will actually not care that you block them. Yeah, I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but that's just a first stage, so don't worry. Remember, avoidants are really good at suppressing their feelings and disconnecting from their emotions. So at first, they actually feel free and relieved. They don't feel the loss of the breakup because they're okay being alone. And if you're wondering how long they're going to be in this stage, I know that's what you're asking yourself, it's going to depend on which type of avoidant they are and how close to 50% their interest level was at the time of the breakup. So fearful avoidants will move out of this stage sooner because, remember, they're anxious, besides being avoidant, and dismissive avoidants usually stay there longer. Then the next stage is that they will wonder what you're up to, especially if you block them on social media or if you don't have social media. So why are they curious at this stage? Because you gave them what they wanted, space, which they thought you'd never be able to do. And now that they have the space to relax and think about you, they don't have to worry about getting away from you because you're not getting too close and because there's not any conflict. So now they feel safe because there's no contact and their walls start to lower. And that's why they're thinking about where you are, what you're doing, who you're doing it with. And this is usually when they start viewing your stories, unless, of course, you block them on the platforms that have your stories. Then they start to obsess over you and wonder if they lost you. Yes, that's right. I'm sure you love this stage. Everybody wants their ex or even the person they're dating to be obsessed with them. And you may have heard about the phantom ex. Well, avoidants are notorious for having a phantom ex. When they think that someone is completely gone and there's no threat of emotional intimacy and connection, no threat of vulnerability, that's when their walls completely drop. So they'll begin to see you as this ideal partner. You're now the emotional ghost of the past relationship that lingers, even though the relationship is over. This allows avoidants to experience longing without risk and connection without commitment. And then finally, they start to wonder if you're the one who got away. What? I know. So how does this even happen? Well, I mentioned that their walls start to lower because you've given them space. This allows them to think back on the relationship and have positive thoughts about you. As they continue to think about you while not knowing what you're up to and if you're even still interested, this will lead to them missing you. See? By leaving them alone, you've created mystery, and mystery is a precursor to attraction. And why is that? Because it taps into the cycle of curiosity, reward, and the desire to resolve uncertainty. It's the what if that makes you intriguing. What if they never see you again? What if you lost interest? What if you moved on? What if they want you back? They begin to wonder why they're thinking about you so much, why they miss you. And that's what makes them wonder if you're the one who got away. And in one of my videos a long time ago, I mentioned the guy who I ghosted for a year and a half after he canceled 3 dates in a row in a space of about 12 days. And then when we spoke after that year and a half, one of the first things he said to me was, I realized you could have been the one. And I didn't have to do anything to make him think that I was the one. In fact, I did nothing. I just disappeared. So there you go. So if you blocked your avoidant ex, what you need to be doing during this time is to be working on your anxious attachment, because otherwise, even if you do get back together, if you're still being reactive with them and freaking out when they pull away, I can pretty much guarantee there's going to be another breakup. And with each subsequent breakup, blocking and or no contact is going to be less and less effective. And the 2 books that I always recommend are Anxiously Attached, and the links to those are underneath every single video. And then finally, one thing you absolutely need to keep in mind, and that is that if you block your ex, you cannot unblock them until you guys are back together. Or you're at the point where you just don't care anymore if they reach out or if you get back together. Because the moment you unblock them, you're signaling that you are still interested in them, and therefore you are breaking no contact. So if you unblock them after 2 months, you just broke no contact. If you unblock them after 4 months, you just broke no contact. But if you don't care, that's fine. But if you do care, then you cannot unblock them. So think long and hard before you block them. Make the decision out of the desire to regulate your nervous system, not because you're angry at the moment and you want to get back at them, because eventually you will regret it and you'll want to unblock them. So remember the No Contact Army slogan. We don't react, we do no contact. So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever blocked an ex and what happened? And if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net/coaching, and we will send you the rates. They are not on the website. If you don't hear back within 24 hours, check your spam folder. And if there's nothing in there, then contact us, hopefully using another email. If you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. If you're listening to this as a podcast and you want to help the show, then just download this episode. And finally, remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.